Hello, welcome to Country Stitchers. I'm Liz. I did a video not long ago when Deb was away on my old projects. I called them archived or ancient. And I mentioned that I had quite a collection of Mill Hill kits, and if somebody was interested I might do a little video and show them at some point. And there were a couple of people that responded, and I had some emails, and so I thought I'd take a minute, share them with you. I'm on a time frame today. It's Sunday evening and dinner's in the oven. I have a hungry husband and I have a content puppy at my feet. Ivan has already eaten and had his time outside, so he's going to be quiet, but my husband's going to get hungry, so I'm going to have to shift gears before too long and get his dinner ready. In the meantime, let's take a look at these Mill Hill kits, and I have a variety of types, and they go back, I think, all the way to 1994, some of them. What's the oldest one I have? I think goes back that far. So let's start with something that's not seasonal at all. These are called, excuse me, well, this one is called Treasured Spring Sampler, but it's not really a seasonal kit. It just has some flowers on it. But if I were to be looking at this, I wouldn't think it was seasonal. They're very pretty. This is a fun kit because it's like a small sampler when you're through. It's a nice size. They have frames, these silver frames available. They're for sale. I have found them at Salty Yarns still. In fact, I think I picked one up there not too long ago, and it's in with my frames for a piece I want to do when I'm done, or I want to frame when I'm done. This was a Mill Hill kit. It was a needle case that I've shown on my channel. This is very old as well. This goes back, oh gosh, all the way to 1999. So I got that, I think, in maybe around 2005. This kit is just a greeting card, and it's beaded. It's a thank you card. And this last one, excuse me, is a buttons and beads. It's just one I picked up to do eventually for my husband's man cave with his music downstairs. I'm on the fence right now about whether I want to continue to work on it as perforated paper or whether I want to put it on fabric. I'm thinking for the time and where it's going to be displayed, I might want to do it on fabric. But I did start it, and you can see I've got the border going on that one. I'll show you what I discovered when Deb and I were on a retreat to Oklahoma. We went to Silver Needle, and they had these squares of fabric that are 14 count when you've stitched over one, or excuse me, over two, and they're very easy to stitch on, and it's a nice finish to the back of a Mill Hill kit. And this fabric, I don't even know the name of it, but it's a little bit more open than Floba, and it's sort of coarse, almost like a burlap. But it's a nice finish for some of these Mill Hill kits if you don't want to do them on perforated paper. And then you can always do them on a piece of linen as well, so you have options there. As with everything, which is what makes needlework so much fun. Then I like Jim Shore, and I have some of his artwork, his statues. The majority of them are Christmas oriented, but there is a series by Mill Hill, a couple of them that have Jim Shore designs on them. They have a card series that has the Jim Shore designs on them. And this one is just called Ace. And for those of you who are wondering, this particular kit was $16. It's a little more expensive than their basic kits because it has some larger porcelain buttons that are Jim Shore designs painted on them, and so it's a little bit more expensive. This was called Quilted Cats, and that's a Jim Shore pattern. He has a cat that's like this. Actually, that's why I got this. I have the statue of a cat that's similar to this. This was Clarissa Cow. And there are several of these farm animals, and I liked them. I believe at some point, if I put them up, they'll be in my kitchen. I may change the background to be a little more in line with the blue in my kitchen than the background on this perforated paper. This was $14.50, that particular kit. And I don't have the price on the previous one. This Mill Hill kit is just a pumpkin design. I have two that are, now we're at the seasonal side of things. These are fall. This one I am working on, and I started this one on perforated paper. I think I showed this on one of my videos, but all that's left there is some work on the outside of the border, and then I just have to put the buttons and beads on. I'm hoping to do that one this season yet. And I'm making good progress because I just had to finish this afternoon while I was stitching on my living room watching the Steelers beat the Eagles. I was very happy with that. And this is a little kitty in a pumpkin. And that's titled Peekaboo Pumpkin. This one was from 2014. I think that's a similar time frame to the pumpkin I had. 2010 was my pumpkin, so they were a few years apart. And the Jim Shore patterns, actually, I didn't tell you when they came out. That was 2008, so they've been out a while. And the card pattern came out 2010. So that's when Jim Shore hit the Mill Hill scene. I'm going to stay with the big buttons and beads packets first here. And now I'm going to show you two that are similar to that first one that was the Spring Treasures. This is the Holiday Sampler Kit. I have stitched two of these already as gifts at the holidays. I like to give these, and I had the frames for them. This kit was $12.50. I got that at the Strawberry Basket. This one I stitched and gave to a mother-in-law. I stitched two of these as well. I gave one to my mother and one to my mother-in-law. And these had some really pretty crystal treasures from Mill Hill on them as ornaments. This one I stitched and gave to my friend back in the 1990s. This kit came out in 97. And I'm going to stitch it again on Ada for my own house. I don't think I have the treasure for that one yet. And those were all in the 1990s. So some of these you might find on eBay, you might find still in a shop somewhere, but they're probably not going to be in the current section of Mill Hill in your local needlework stores. Now, these are seasonal. These go back as far as 1996. This kit is adorable, and it's got some different stitches on it. I had two of these. I gave Deb one of them. I don't think she's done hers yet. And this was called I Believe. And these next two are from a series of Christmas Village that came out in 2007 and 2008. These were successive years. The first one was the Queen Anne house. It was decorated for Christmas. If you like to do houses, these are really fun. And this one is called the Needlework Shop. And it also is adorned for Christmas. These next three are a winter series. The very first one, excuse me, goes back quite a ways to 2004. And it has cardinals, which are my favorite little bird to watch. As does this one and the next one. Imagine that. This is 2010. And that one is called Cardinal Forest. And this one is called Holiday Delivery. I loved the mailbox, the letter, and then the cardinal on top of that. And that one was 2011. And this last selection of the Button and Beads series continues on the Christmas. This one was part of that other series. This was 2013. And it was called Family Tree. I really like that. I like the wood green on the side of the car. Takes me back to all the good movies and growing up. And then these are Jim Shore kits. Well, you know what? I have one more that isn't. I'll show you that one here. This is called the French Horn. It's very elegant looking. My mother actually stitched a very pretty design that went over her mantle. It was very large, had a song on it, and the French horn was part of it, of the design. And I will always remember that. I have no idea where it went. And then the next four are Jim Shore Christmas ones, and these are all newer. These are 2013, newer. And please use your remotes if you need to see what they are, and I didn't hold them up long enough for you because I'm not going to put a long discussion of these in the description box today. I'm trying to see, I think these came out at the same time, 2015. Deb got me these Jim Shore Christmas patterns, by the way, the Santas and the snowmen, for Christmas over a couple of years. I really like that snowman with the owl. And then these last two again are sort of Christmas scenes. This was 2016, North Pole. And this one, oops, is a sampler. It's a holiday sampler. And I really like this one too. This one I do think I'm going to do on fabric. I started it actually on perforated paper and then opted out. I am fighting my allergies, so excuse me while my nose itches. We had all of the fields cut around us. We have cornfields and farmland, and when they do that in the fall, it changes the bugs. We end up with different bugs, and then it also just raises the allergens in the air, I guess is a good way to put it, and I tend to fight that for a little while. Now I'm trying to decide. Let's go with seasonal for a minute. What we have here are some pins. This is a harvest pin. These go back quite a ways. This 2001. This one goes back to 2000. $2005. And I probably will not, I have never, I think I have one pin that I did that I kept actually as a pin. The rest of them I do as little ornaments, or there's an option to put a magnet on the back, and I think they're cute on a refrigerator as well. This is another Autumn Harvest pin. This is just the pattern. I think that might have been in my grandmother's stash. And these pins that I'm about to show you are Christmas pins. This one, again, this is just the pattern. It's a tree. And I have a very wide selection of holiday pins that I can do. Now, I did do, this was one of the ones I did and kept as a pin. And I wore it on my sports jacket and my suit jacket at work. If we were out about. And then this was Christmas Nest. I have not done this. I should do this soon. That's another cardinal. And these, again, I'll probably finish as magnets. And then these next four, given the, I should say given the timing, these next four are more recent than the ones I just showed you. This one, I'm not sure what the significance of the fall is. It's love potion, so I think it has to do with magic and witches and potions, and so it's called potion number 9. Love potion number 9. This is a pear. I get this out. I really do. I get this out every fall and set it next to my stitching chair, and I have yet to do that one. This one you saw not too long ago. This is fairly current. It's a little camper van. I believe this is going to get done for my sister and a friend of mine. I'm going to do 2 of these. And then this is a harvest apple. And it's called a jeweled apple. I like the paisley look to it. Same as the look for that pear. I think that's really unique. So those, again, are ornaments slash pin magnet. These are, if I categorize them, I would say they were relatively springy, with the exception of this first one, which is another musical ornament. And this, I'm thinking I'll hang this somehow off of that other piece I showed you. They kind of go together. And then this is a spring, they call it flutterby. That's what my sister used to call butterflies. Flutterbys. And then this is a fishing vest. It's one of the few kits I saw that had an orientation that was more masculine. And I do know some people who fish, and I thought that would be kind of a neat gift for a man as a, you know, an ornament or something. And then this is, you've seen this. I'm doing a different version of this. I changed the colors on it. And then this grouping together here is called the Spring Bouquet. They all came out sort of the similar year. This was Rockin' Robin. He's having a good time. And then I have 2 of these. This is the Spring Bouquet. I'm not exactly sure. I think I got it. The first one, I was going to do it for my granddaughter. And then I can't remember how I came upon my second one, but I think what happened was I was shopping somewhere and there was a second one, and now I have 2 granddaughters that are similar age, older than the twins. Anyway, so I had these tucked aside. I've been thinking, after I cleaned out the craft room, reorganized, got everything set up, and I showed Deb last week, I forgot. I didn't mention it recently, but I have all my fabric now by, not by color yet, but by count. So that's good. Now I can easily get to it. And I was thinking that it might be fun to have a bead month where all I do are bead kits or beaded projects. I'm not sure. I really enjoyed doing a month of Christmas this summer, and I I really made progress on some of my Christmas things, and that got me motivated to keep going on those. These charted mittens, I had gotten this one, and I gave this away as a gift. But after I saw this one, then I happened across these on eBay. And these are much older. This series I'm about to show you is from 1998. And this Patchwork Mitten was 2005. So this was preceded by these. I really like the colors. This would go well with that punch needle Santa I did. We saw him quite a while ago when I finished him on a star. This one is really cute mitten. And then I really like this next one. It has little reindeer on it. Mug shots for the reindeer. And then there's a story behind this next batch. I made so many of these. This was when I first became familiar with Mill Hill kits. And I bought these and I stitched, oh gosh, I'm looking at the 4 of them. I believe I decided to do, I used to do an ornament for my nieces and nephews each year. And I believe this particular year I had chosen to do these ornaments, and I did them and gave them away. So I did multiple of each one. This was the Santa with the toy bag over his shoulder. And candy cane. I should do a set for myself. And this Santa, I don't even remember how many of these I did. This guy is really cute. He's got a little jingle bell on the front of him. And this was so cute for my nieces and nephews when they were younger. So those were very fun. That takes me back. I can even still remember sitting in my chair in the living room about this time of year up until Thanksgiving, working on all these different ornaments. This batch here coming up is a stocking series. Again, these I found on eBay. I was really excited when I found them. These go back to 1997. Yes, and they're all 97, so it was the same series. Stocking. This one has Santa on it. It says "'Tis Noel" on the banner at the top, but you could very easily backstitch a name on that. This I like. It has a design on it that looks like Bargello. This would go good with that one mitten that had the hearts on it. Maybe I need to do a small stocking and mitten tree. And snowman. And then this one has trees and stars. It's a little bit hard to see the gold stars there, but there's a couple of gold stars on the top row next to the tree, and then at the bottom, and one in the middle. So those are the stocking ornaments. And then these next 3 I'm going to show you are actually, I keep saying fairly current. If I've bought them since I moved back here to Illinois, to me that's current. Kind of a mental line in the sand. So within the last 10 years, this one was 2013. And I have this one finished with my ornaments. I really liked that one with the plated cookies. And it's relatively three-dimensional. You cut this star out and attach it to the top. And then I've not stitched this one, but it has a little tiny crystal charm treasure there, sits right in the wagon, and it's a little teddy bear, gold teddy bear. And then this last one, every year when I was young and it was Dad doing the tree, the beginning of our Christmas decorating was Dad getting the lights on so Mom could put the decorations on. And what a comedy that was. Dad always had knots in his lights. I don't know how old I was before that stopped happening, or when he came up with a system for it, but this will always bring back memories of my childhood Christmases. And I actually have a shirt that I made for Rick, and it's applique. I did that one year when it became very popular. I wanted to try it. So I bought a piece of fabric that had Looney Tune Christmas characters on it that you buy by the panel. And I put stabilizer on them, cut them out, and then I appliqued them to a t-shirt that I bought at the craft store, a long sleeve red t-shirt, had buttons up the front. It was at the neck. It was just adorable when it was done, but one of the characters on it was Daffy Duck with a string of lights all wrapped around him. Rick still wears that shirt. He had that, and I just had a red sweater, but we wore those. We got married on the 14th of December, so we were away during the holiday season on our honeymoon, and we wore those shirts when we were out. I made it for him as a gift for when we were away, so that was fun. But those lights will always bring back holiday memories. And now we're getting down to the end of the packages here. And these I made multiples of also and gave them away. I got these 2008. I was going to say, I remember getting these when I lived in Illinois. I really think that's cute. Now these were not done on perforated paper. These came with a small piece of linen in them. Actually, it was even weave. It was a white Lugana. This one's pretty too. So I like those, and I'll probably do some of those for my tree. I have a tree in my head, and it's decorated with all these things. You know those exist. If you're a crafter, you have them. But I need to make it jump from my head to the living room. This was cute. It was a little winter series, and it was called Nice. And there was one that said Naughty. I could not bring myself to do that one, but this one has a reindeer and presents hanging there. That was cute. And that I had in mind when I got that was my granddaughter. This was 2009. So my second granddaughter was on her way when I saw that one. And this one also reminded me of the kids. This one says, Be Merry. I should probably do some of these for their new tree. So that's the small kits. And before I wrap up this little walk through my bead bin, I want to show you a couple of things. Keep your eyes open when you're looking at magazines or you find a book or a pattern somewhere. It's amazing what you can find. This one was in an issue of Stitch World, which is not a magazine that's produced anymore. Stitchers World, gosh, I don't remember the time frame, but I remember getting a free issue of it when I was at Gene Farish's Spirit of Cross Stitch retreat at Valley Forge. So it goes back that far, and that was in 1996. I looked because I have the poster from that event framed in my craft room because my sister and my mom and I went, and they had a long runner as a promotion for it that had a calendar at the bottom, and I framed it just to remind myself of our time away. So these are the ornaments that were in the magazine. And I thought they went nicely with those two I just showed you that were done on linen. And then these are done just on perforated paper. And again, you could change the medium that you use for the background on these. And these came from a very old cross stitch and country crafts magazine. And there's 4 different colors. There's I think they called this one the green one. Yes, this has the green in it. And then purple, red, and blue. So they're very pretty. And there's 4 of them. And that magazine also has not been in print for quite some time. These were fall, and it's 2 pins. You'll see a very striking resemblance to 2 of the kits that I showed you. The little witch pin that I had, and then the little moon and the kitty. Again, it's just a little bit different, but it's similar. And these were in a cross stitch and needlework magazine, but that magazine is also no longer in print. I do not know, I'm sorry, but I don't know the issues of these, so if you were thinking of asking, I don't know, because I cut them out, and only some of them have the dates. Like this next one I'm going to show you does have a date on the bottom of the page, and that was cross stitch and needlework 97, and it's just a pin with a design and some fringe at the bottom. But when I saw something that was unique, I used to pull it. Yeah, the cross stitch and needlework just had the needlework magazine name at the bottom, not the date. And these are the last ones I have. These are a little bit different. These have as much to do with perforated paper as they do beading, because there aren't any beads on this first one. But I wanted to do these at some point in time. I need to get some of these cubes, but in 2003, this was in the Cross Stitch Christmas magazine, which is no longer published. It was done by Better Homes and Gardens, and I had a series for quite a few years, a number of years, from the end of the 90s into the early part of this turn of the century. But aren't those cute placeholders? I mean, we all see these sort of placeholders around, but I just thought that was a cute design on perforated paper. You can put the name, or you could even just make it as a little decoration for each place setting if you wanted to, by not putting a name on it and putting a slogan or a saying on it. So those were cute, and I like the way they finished it, and I really like the beads on the wire that they used to hold it. So I pulled that out of that magazine. Then again, Cross Stitch Christmas the same year, they had these little snowmen, and these are beaded. One has a tree and one has a wreath. And these came out of the Cross Stitch Christmas 94, so this goes back even farther. And this was called Holiday Dress-Ups. This was perforated paper and stitching and beading. There's a slight number of beads on some of these, but it was earrings, a pin, and 2 sets. The little bear set down here, and then up here is jingles, and then 2 little, what would those be? Little hearts, red and white hearts with holly at the bottom as earrings. But aren't they cute? And then the last thing I have is out of the Cross Stitch Christmas 2003, and it is a combination of stitching and beading. They've done this on fabric, and they did a Santa with some beads, and then there's like a sweater pin across the bottom with some beads hanging that finish off the bottom of the Santa Claus. And it's really cute too. And that design on this one was actually done by Waxing Moon Designs. That's the first I noticed that. I think that's all of my beading in that bin. That's the Mill Hill bin. And there are so many designs out there that is by no means anything close to all they have. That's just what caught my attention at the time. And I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, share the joy of needlework. Bye-bye.